During the second half of the 19th century, there was increased. עכשיו?
כן.
זה בסדר ככה? During the second half of the 19th century, there was increased Messianic activity in Yemen. Three messiahs were active: Shukr Kohail I, Shukr Kohail II, and Yosef Abdallah. Of those, Shukr Kohail II was the most famous, and he is the focus of my lecture today. Shukr Kohail II claimed that he was the reincarnation of Shukr Kohail I, a religious individual killed by agents of the Imam. Unlike Shukr Kohail I, Shukr Kohail II was not a religious scholar and even led a life of lecturing. Through his letters, whose goal was to raise money for his activity, his fame extended behind Yemen. His Messianic activity ended in 1875, which is exiled to Istanbul by the Turks, who then ruled Yemen. Shortly thereafter, he returned to Sana'a, where he remained until his death in 1877-78. Although part of a session of cultural histories, my lecture today is devoted to social networking surrounding Shukr Kohail II's Messianic activity. My main source is Rabbi Yaakov Sapir Halevi's איגרת תימן השנית, which contains איגרת תימן השנית, which contain exchange of letters between individuals in the port city of Aden and Alexandria. As a rabbinical emissary for Jerusalem Prushim, student of the Vilna Gaon, who settled in Israel, Sapir traveled to Egypt and India, spent time in both Alexandria and Aden. When Shukr Kohail II was active, both Aden and Alexandria was long-standing active Jewish communities located in a cosmopolitan port city. Jewish life flourished in both. They had strong lay leadership alongside strong rabbinical leadership. Sapir's mission as a rabbinical emissary to India and the East began in 1858. His first stop was Alexandria, where he was hosted by Rabbi Nathan Amram. At the time, Amram was the rabbi of the Francos, Italian Jews living in Alexandria and the nearby regions. Sapir spent most of 1859 visiting Jewish communities in central Yemen. He published the impressions of his visit in Even Sapir, while in Aden. Sapir heard of Shukr Kohail II, Hebrew name Yehuda Bar Shalom. Shukr Kohail II, who believed himself in the central of Messianic movement in Yemen, was the best known Messiah for the modern era. Active for a long time in Yemen, Shukr Kohail's fame spread to the other countries. Using the newspaper Lebanon as his platform, Sapir published his objection to Shukr Kohail's activity in several articles. The great interest in this Messiah prompted the newspaper to publish all of Sapir's articles of this Messiah in separate booklet titled Igeret Teman. A revised version which additional letter titled איגרת תימן השנית, the second letter of Yemen, was published later. It includes 13 letters, both the Messiah and by other who favorite or oppose him. I want to share 2 points about the letters. One, all the letters are on the Aden Alexandria exist. 2, the network of individuals involved is limited. It includes the Messiah, Yaakov Sapir, and only 4 other individuals: Moshe Hanoch, Rafael Suarez, Ichia Mizrahi, and Ferej Chaim Mizrahi. When I read the letters together, I found that they were involved even in the letter sent to Bombay or Jerusalem, for example. The Aden community is represented by Moshe Hanoch, an Italian Jew, a rich merchant and important communal activist who settled in Aden. The Alexandria community is represented by Senor Rafael Suarez, an Italian banker who was also a member of the Francos community led by Rabbi Amram. I think the connection between Aden and Alexandria started with Hanoch and Suarez, because both were members of the Francos community. Another figure from Alexandria was Ichia Mizrahi, a rich Jew born in Sana, who emigrated to Egypt while young. Throughout his lifetime, Mizrahi maintained ties with the Jews in Yemen, such as sending printing books there. Ferej Chaim Mizrahi was born in Georgia and arrived in Alexandria while still young. He was teacher of children, a bookseller. He was also a journalist, famous, and wrote for many Hebrew newspapers. Ferej also founded a printing press, very successful. He belonged to the small number of Egyptians, Jewish intellectuals, influenced by the Arabic Nahda or revival movement. The letters in איגרת תימן השנית show that Shuker Kochai was aware of the status of this network, and that these 4 individuals were members of the economic upper class, not a rabbinical elite. Today we might call them influencers. From Shuker Kochai's perspective, they controls the important pipeline. The 13 letter published in איגרת תימן השנית, Sapir had introduction sent to Lebanon from Aden in 1862. Please note that I will read the quote in original Hebrew when English translate appear on the screen. בעיר הגדולה צאנה קם איש אחד לבשר על הגאולה ועל תמורות הזמן. האיש הזה נקרא מורי שוקר אלקחי, והוא אחד מחכמי העיר הזאת. וידעתי את האיש ושיחו ומכירו הייתי. He went on. גם פה לעדן בא המשוגע הזה, ושאל בית הנשיא, הרב היקר והגביר הנכבד, מורי מנחם משה, ישמרנו צורנו ויחנו, ולא מצאו, ובבואו שנית ולא מצאו, התעבר ועבר לו, ועקבותיו לא נודעו. Mori Menachem Moshe or Musa became the richest Jewish Aden after the British conquest. He was the president of the Jewish community. It's represented to the British regime. In other words, Shuker Kochai abandoned his effort to meet with the most important member of the Jewish community. As we will see, this also happened in Alexandria. From the letter, we learn that Yihya Mizrahi in Alexandria and Moshe Hanoch in Aden were at the first key supporters of the Messiah. In a letter to Yihya Mizrahi, Moshe Hanoch tells how the Messiah asked him to come to him. He described his fear of the Messiah. עכשיו הוא תקיף וכתב לאנשי עדן איגרות לרוב, וגם כן איגרת לי על שמי ובשמי ללכת אליו, ואני מתפחד. In another letter, Fered Chaim Mizrahi from Alexandria updates appear as the Messiah's two demands, as not by Professor Batzion Yeraki Torgeman in her study. One, halachic praxis, and two, tithes, donation. יזהיר את אנשי אלכסנדריה ללמוד תהילים ובפרט בזוהר דרשב"י ויתנו צדקה כאין מעשר או שקלים ויזהרו בתפילת המנחה והערבית וישמרו את השבת ביתר שאת. ספיר also published letter written by Shuker Kochai himself to the Jerusalem community, to Rabbi Shmuel Eller of Tzfat, two letters to Yihya Mizrahi and the Alexandria Jewish community, and two letters to Moshe Hanoch and the Aden Jewish community. In those letters, Shuker Kochai described the miracles he preferred and the revelations he received. He again makes the same two requests. One, payment of tithes, and two, religious praxis, including study of Psalms and the Zohar and the strong organization of Shabbat and prayers. Practice, sorry. The donations were to fund Shuker Kochai activity. I note another feature of Shuker Kochai letters. He appeals to the Jews of Aden and Alexandria. He turned to the community as whole, not to the rabbinical authorities or lay leaders by name. By way of example, I quote the letter to Alexandria community, which was addressed to the scholars as a group, not to Rabbi Natan Amram, the chief rabbi. למול אחינו, אנשי גאולתנו, השוכנים בעיר אלכסנדריה, ובראשם התלמידים, חכמים, הרבנים, החסידים, הנגידים, הישישים, הידידים, הנעימים, הקדושים, העוסקים בתורה והמצטערים על גלות השכינה. In the same way, in a letter to Aden, Shuker Kochai does not mention the name of the leading members of the community. שלום רב למולכם יהיה רב, ממזרח וממערב, ילדי ידידים, בגדי חמודים, שרי נגידים, גולת אריאל, בני ישראל, יודעי המשרה, אלופי התורה. Again, I note that he does not appeal to the president of the community, Menachem Moshe, who Sapir mentioned in the opening of his book. The letter also indicate how the fate of the supporters went over time. From Aden, Moshe Hanoch questioned the Messiah in the letter to Yihya Mizrahi in Alexandria. Moshe Hanoch quote what the Messiah wrote to him. ושלחת כתב אצלי, הרב רבי יחיא מזרחי, השם יאירו ויחיו, ואמרת לו שאני מחשב חס וחלילה. To Yihya Mizrahi, the Messiah wrote the following in answer to his doubt. ומה שאמרת אתה יחיא מזרחי, שאתה מבקש ממני עוד שעברו אצלך, בעזרת השם עוד מעט ותראה נפלאות. This exchange shows the gradual waning of the Messiah's influence. He wanted to use the social network connection Aden and Alexandria to better his positions. But this turned out to be a weakness. The network of Masonic activity between Aden and Alexandria took place through individuals that Shuker Kochai met in Aden, through his connection with Yihya Mizrahi, who was original from Yemen, and Yaakov Sapir, who published Yaakov Sapir, who published the active of network. But this network remained insulated from others Jewish network. We would have expect Shuker Kochai to connect other rabbinical emissaries from Eretz Israel who were active in border regions in North Africa or Europe, or to appeals to leading rabbinical authorities. In his Even Sapir, Yaakov Sapir noted that all of Alexandria obeyed to Chacham Bashi and the communal officers. At the time, Rabbi Natan Amram was the chief rabbi of Alexandria. Arabic sources also reflect the Chacham Bashi's influence. For example, נגיד נכון, Rafa Tatawi, Muslim scholars who served as a clerk under Muhammad Ali wrote in 1868 in Rabbi Natan Amram's day, the head of the Jew is the captain of his flock. He is responsible for his community. He has the ability to gather their scattered members. Every decision he makes receive their agreements. עוד דקה. עוד חצי דף. One daf. In closing his letter, questioned the Messiah, Sapir asked how it is possible that the Messiah was unaware of the noble figure of the chief rabbi of Alexandria. על זאת עמדתי משתאה, הלא מהמופתים שמעלים עליו, ויודע כל דבר שבעולם, וכל שמות בני אדם שבעולם ומהותם ואיכותם, ואיך לא ידע שיש באלכסנדריה עיר גדולה, רב גדול בתורה, ביראה ובחוכמה, זקן ומופלג בדורו, מן השרידים אשר השם קורא, הגאון אף בדין, מורנו הרב נתן אמרם, יצוונו צורהו ויחיינו. ומדוע זה נעלם ממנו שמו הטהור? He asked, how could he pure name escape him? Sapir here points to the weakness of Shuker Kochai approach. Shuker Kochai did not see or did not want to see that the person to whom he should have turned was the chief rabbi, Rabbi Natan Amram. Rabbi Natan Amram died in 1870, at the point in time Shuker Kochai's influence was waning. 2 years later, in 1872, there were outbreaks of violence against the Jews in Aden. The network created around the false Messiah that include Yihya Mizrahi, Moshe Hanoch, Rafael Suarez, and Ferej Chaim Mizrahi acted together to help the Jews of Aden. But that is a topic for a different lecture. Thank you very much.